Hi, welcome to Book Wound! I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If we haven't met before, I am Mashou and I create journal and bookish content here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to set up my reading journal for March, and just before jumping into that, I want to excuse it beforehand because it is a break and my kids are home from school, so we might have some background noises. And as always, we also might have some cat running around background noises as well. And talking about cats, we will see some of them in this video. In March, I'm going to participate in Realmathon by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. And I have picked out the Rogue team, and the symbol of this team is a cat filled with stars. I picked this team for two reasons. One, I have some mysteries that are for a long time now on my wanting to read list, so this could be a good moment to read them, since one of the prompts I will be reading for is books with an element of mystery, but also because of the cat with stars icon. I just had laying around the perfect stickers for that team and I wanted to use them. So in this setup, we will have a spatial and a spatial cats team. And I was looking for some decoration to put around my journal. And I didn't find any cat figurines. So we do have a lot at home, but none that would look good viewed from the top down, or that I could lay flat next to my journal. So I decided to go with rogue cats as a decoration and to trick my cats in coming, spending some time on my desk. Most of the time, there are always a few cats on my desk. If you didn't know, we have 10 cats at home. But of course, the day that you want a cat on your desk, there is none. So I had to make them come with some treats. In this video, we will see 3 of our cats. That is the black and white one we saw at the very start, which is called Meliodas. The, how do you call that in English? The red one? The orange one is called Alcazar, and at some point we also have a smaller black and white cat who is called Locke. These are 3 of our male cats, and it's them who tend to be the most with me. Our female cats tend to be more in a mindset of hiding under a bed or something. And talking all through that, I have already set up my cover page, and I always use the same format for that, which is a calendar on the left and then a space to list out all the books that I have read on the right, and then I add in all these books on this calendar. You can have a view of what that looks like in my end of month reading journal updates. Here I am creating a spread that I haven't created in my journal before. Well, I end up doing that after my February setup, so you haven't seen that. I picked up some work hours and I needed ways to make sure that I could do some of my YouTube things at work. You say, how can you do that at work? I tend to ill children at their homes, and often they are very small. So when they are napping, I do have some time to do things for my own. But I don't have a portable computer, I only have my phone, and I decided to make a spread that is replacing the Cawpile spreadsheet that I've been using before. I will link down below to a video about this spreadsheet in case you didn't know it. It is created by G from Book Rose, and it is available for everybody. So I picked out the elements of the spreadsheet that I tend to use in my stats, and some of them are tweaked to what I find interesting. And I created these spreads with a Dutch door on which I basically going to draw columns so that I can write in the books. And I made 2 Dutch door flaps in this because I do have a big handwriting, and I noticed doing that in February that I maybe fit like 6 books on one. And if I am reading like comic books or manga, then I will read a lot more books in a month, and I prefer to have too much space than to run out of some space. So that's why there are more pages than probably is reasonable. I am keeping different stats on them, and let me walk you through them. So the first big one is the title and the author. I also keep track of publication year. And with the type of book, I think about if it is a physical, an audio, or an ebook. The pages or hours that this book has acquired, where I get it from, the format, a novel, a manga, a comic, a novella, the genre, if it is part of a series, the language I read it in, if it is translated, the original language, if it is a new to me author, a DNF or a reread, and finally how many stars that I gave that book. I am still looking to find an effective way to decorate this page, and for now I have added in some cat stickers. I think this space will look quite full once it is filled in, and the stickers will of course also take away from the writing space. With this next spread, we are back into known territory. It is my TBR spread, and if you're new, then maybe I need to explain to you how I use it, because I haven't seen anyone do the same on BookTube before. I use the left side to write down priority books. That are the books that are fixed for some challenges, like the book that I'm going to read for the Fitz Along, the book that I'm going to read for Leandra the TBR's Map of Stories Weekend Challenge, and other books like that. It also has a section for audiobooks, mostly series I want to continue, or books that are going to go out of the included catalog of my Audible subscription that I really need to get to. And on the other side, I write down the prompts of the readathon I am taking part in and the books that I want to read for that. Last year, I noticed that when picking out books for prompts, I tend to go to books that I recently added to my wanting to read list because they are more fresh in my mind, or that I tend to pick out the prompts for which a book immediately comes to mind. And I have tried to find a solution for that, because of course I also want to read books that are less fresh in my mind and on my wanting to read list. And I decided to use a TBR game to pick out prompts so that it is more randomized. Then would mean also that I would probably land on prompts less attractive at first sight for me. And for Realmathon, I'm going to use this TBR game that will be next Saturday for me in the evening. And you could join if you would like to. I will link my first video of this TBR game so that you can follow along if you'd like next weekend. This spread is also one that I set up every month. It is my bibliodrive spread. I use this to keep track of all the library books that we have in our house. If you are new, then know that most of our reading is done through the library, and that is all 7 of our family. I have made a video that explains how we use the library, and that shows why I need this list and how I use it, and I will link that for you as well. This is a straightforward spread that is just a list with some decoration around it. So I want to take this moment to thank Cassidy for sharing with me and with others on the Discord the different font types that she used in the printables made for Realmathon. I picked the one that is used for the theme names as the font for my titles in this setup. I will highlight the lines or every other line on this spread to make this list more clear to read. I will hesitate between the light blue that I've already used or more pigmented pink. You see me do that right now. That is also, and it's less seen on video, in the planet washi tape, and I thought, well, let's add some color to this spread, but afterwards I think I should have gone with the blue and not the pink. And with these more general monthly pages set up, I can start setting up the spreads for Realmathon. And the first one I make is a spread to keep track of the story of the readathon and also of the team that I decide to join, which, like I said, is the rocks. I will be adding in all this information off camera, but you will be able to see the complete filled out spread in the flip through at the end of the video. This next spread is one to keep track of all the prompts and the points that are associated with Realmathon, and it will be divided in roughly 4 spaces. In this first completely left decorated column, I have a little bit of space to write down the 3 bigger prompts for the readathon, the one that is for everybody and then the 2 that are team-based. And the decorated section all on the right will hold the points that we get per page count for the books that we read. And the 2 middle sections will be used for listing out the 15 prompts that are positive points or negative points. As I said, I will be using some of them in my TBR game, but we can stack up 5 prompts from one list for the points. And so I wanted a place where I can find easily all these prompts to calculate the final points of my book. This next spread will hold 2 different setups, and on the left side I am creating a personal score tracker so that I can write down for each book where it did score points, how many, and if it is negative points, on which team I scented this malice. The gel pens that I'm using to create the grids all throughout this setup are somewhat older and they started leaking, so I have to draw my grids in several how do you say that? Etape in several times, because otherwise they will smudge with the ruler. And I'm using this one sticker that I have left from my general setup in this reading journal, and I had just one left, and so I thought I would use it over here. It does fit well with the papers that I have used throughout this setup, papers that I have used several times last year. Once for my setup about Les Nébuleuses by Amandine Peter in my bullet journal, and I also use them in my May reading journal setup in my looking at the stars while camping theme for Hackathon and the Tarot Book Challenge. So in case they looked familiar to you, this is where I use them, and I will put those videos also in the description box down below. The right side felt a little bit empty, and so I decided to make a place where I can keep track of the winner of the readathon with this craft paper square that can hold the icon of the winning team, and I plan to write down all the teams and their scores in the white space in between the decorations. Will you be participating in Realmathon? If you haven't heard about this readathon before, you will find the announcement video in my description box. And if you are participating, please let me know in which team you are. The comment section is there for you, and I'll be happy to talk to you over there about the readathon or other subjects. I hope you enjoyed this setup, and coming up next is a flip through of all the spreads I've made. See you soon!